Welcome back, people of the world. Please like, subscribe, comment. On my video on showing all the jigsaw puzzle pieces, a friend has said that he's not sure whether my analogy of jigsaw puzzles is a very good one. By the way, I should start off saying I've seem to have an ear infection now. Getting over the pneumonia slowly, getting a lot better. But I've now got an earache. My pneumonia's not fully over and I'm still on drugs, but my my ear, I woke up at 3:30 this morning with a pain in my ear. So it's got an earache. It's kind of a bit like being in a time warp, getting an old-fashioned infection after COVID. It's the first infection I've had since the pandemic that's not COVID. It's a bit like being in a time warp. Anyway, Fran was saying he didn't think this was a very good analogy. I think it is a reasonable analogy. I'll explain. You get per day, okay? You get good, you get correct information, okay? You get bad info, okay? You get wrong. You get wrong info. I've never yet heard a death toll prediction that's been correct through the entire pandemic, never once. I did predict when it got to about 50 to 70,000 British death tolls, I predicted it would get 150,000, I reckon. Now it's past that. When it got to 150,000, when it got to 160, I think when it was announced 150, but it was actually 176,000, I think when it got to about 180,000, 190,000, I actually wondered whether it might get to 250,000. I'll say that, it may get to 250,000 in Britain eventually, but it's just a prediction. I've never heard any other death toll prediction that's been correct. They've all been wrong. I don't know why I'm getting them. I've only made, I think I'm just guessing in the long term it'll probably rise a lot higher than it currently is, that's all. Because it's not stopped and numbers add up. I think that's what my thinking is. Yeah, it's not stopped, numbers add up, so in the long term it probably might get up to a much higher level. One of the early predictions predicted some Middle Eastern country with death toll 10 or something. I mean, whoever was that wasn't thinking. So anyway, correct info, bad info, wrong info, nonsense is announced. Okay? So if each jigsaw piece represents sort of correct info and bad info and wrong info and nonsense info and stuff that's good, you get stuff in symptoms and stuff in new drugs and medicine developments. And so if each jigsaw piece represents, yeah, good, bad, nonsense, symptoms, new drugs, sort of just every little bit that's reported, then I think the whole thing, so if you get each one of these either day, over the course of time you get gradually a bigger picture building up. It doesn't mean every bit of the picture is useful, but if I stick this down, which is the original jigsaw, I'm not sure which one it is, I don't think it's that one, it could be that one. I think it might be Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, I'm not sure. But if you look at Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, if say Snow White represents our understanding of the virus, okay, and how it affects us, so the pathology and the illness side of it, and if the rest of the picture represents all the death tolls and the bad nonsense information and sort of just bad information, whatever that is, and stuff that's unhelpful and whatever else I've said, then it might take 3, 4, 5 years or longer to get. It might take 10. In science, understanding of scientific ideas, whether in chemistry, physics, biology, astronomy or maths, can take years to decades and even centuries. It can certainly take decades. It's been at least 25 years since the astronomy. You may have heard of something called dark matter in astronomy. it's been at least 25 years and more since dark matter was first identified. Science still has no idea what it is at all. Dark energy is the same. It's not been as long since dark energy was first identified. Maybe it's been about 10 or 15 years, but science still has absolutely no idea what these things are, okay? And there are other things. So it can take certainly years to decades and even centuries. There are ideas in maths, such as the Riemann hypothesis and the P versus NP problem. There are mathematical ideas which over a century later, sometimes nearly 2 centuries later, we still don't understand. They haven't been proved yet. So yeah, that's, I think this does work, because some of these bits of the picture might be just death tolls that are nonsense, or drugs that don't work, or drugs that do work, or so possible new symptoms. But the Snow White part is the bit all about the virus and how it affects us and the symptoms, but we don't really fully understand it. We've maybe got a small fraction of it so far. So that's all I meant by this picture. Okay.